Morning brewers, it's Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, and I'm going to be brewing at the weekend, and so it's time to start my yeast starter. Now this is going to be the fourth generation of the yeast that I've been harvesting. If you've seen my earlier videos, I've been experimenting with yeast harvests, and this is quite significant because in my mind I thought if I could get to 4 generations of the yeast that I bought, that would save me about £5 a pitch. So £20, it's a good saving, and it's paid for the stir plate that I'm using to generate the yeast. So I thought I would just check in over the next few days as I harvest the yeast and show you how it goes for generation 4. So this is generation 3 that I harvested. You can see that I just keep it in a sterilised jar with an airtight lid. The liquid on the top is the old starter, so that's fermented beer, but unhopped of course. It says on a label to say where it is, and you can see this is White Lab 002, and you can see it's flocculated out to the bottom there. And I keep it in the fridge, the domestic fridge, so that's at about 4 degrees or whatever the domestic fridge temperature is. Calculate the size of the starter using an online calculator as before, based on the amount that I need to harvest off and the wort that I'm putting the yeast into. That tells me the starter size. And on this occasion I need 1500ml starter with 151 grams of DME. So that's what I've put in there. That's upstairs in my flask in the fermentation fridge, just coming down to pitching temperature. It's still too hot. And I usually put a pinch of yeast nutrient in there as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this harvested yeast and put it in the fermentation fridge as well to bring it up to the 20 degrees from the 4 that it's at, so it's not such a shock when it goes into the starter. Probably tonight when I get in, it'll be late this evening, I'll pitch this into the starter, so I'll do a quick clip then to see you, so you can see how it looks at the start, and then over a period of hours I'll just show you the stir plate and how hopefully the starter bulks up, so you can see how the harvesting's going. Then I'll check in on Brew Day on Saturday for a few minutes, update you on 1 or 2 other things, and we'll pitch the yeast, and I'll update you on how that fermentation number 4 goes from my yeast harvesting project. So that's it for this quick check-in. I'll check in this evening when we should be ready to pitch this. Bye for now, see you later. So it's about 11 o'clock at night now, and I've just pitched the starter into the, just pitched the yeast into the starter mixture. You can see it's on the stir plate there. It's just spinning round big clumps because I just pitched it in and it hasn't woken up yet. So we'll check in tomorrow morning when it's been spinning for a few hours and see how it multiplies up, hopefully. Okay, 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's been started for about 8 hours, and perhaps you can just see there now a very fine swirling mass of yeast. So all those clumps have gone and it's begun to ferment there. It's 7 o'clock in the morning now, so the starter's been going for about 32 hours, and you can see now how different it looks from when we started out. Full of yeast swirling around there. I think it's probably about finished, all the frost's gone from the top. I'll leave the stirrer going until I'm ready to pitch it tomorrow, it'll be now. Okay, we've reached the end of the starter now. This is the day it'll be pitched. You can see lots of yeast swirling around in there, so we're ready to go. It's also flocculated. You can see that the starter's clear really, and the yeast swirling around. If I slow it down, there, you can see it immediately begins to drop out. So that starter's finished, but I usually keep it going until I'm ready to pitch, because it helps keep it in suspension so that I can pour the right amount out. I want 500ml out to keep, to harvest, and the rest will go into the beer later on today. Meanwhile, at the brewing end of the operations, I've got mashed in. I've been mashed in about 20 minutes. This is the 20th Grainfather brew that I've done, so I thought I'd do something a bit special. So it's going to be a big juicy grapefruit pale ale. I'm going to put some grapefruit peel, just the yellow peel bit, the zest, in the last few minutes of the boil. I'm going to put some grapefruit zest in the hot rocket, hot back thing, to get some grapefruit aroma and flavour in, hopefully. And I might even put some grapefruit zest in the dry hops, but I'm going to test it at the end of primary first. I don't want to overcook it. Big grapefruity hops are going in, so I've got some Chinook, some Simcoe, some Cascade. They're going in. The Cascade for the bitterness and for flavour and aroma later, and the Simcoe and Chinook in later, and dry hop mainly for flavour and aroma. So back shortly. Meanwhile, thought I'd show you my kegerator that I've been busy working on. Pretty standard setup really. So repurposed old fridge that I found in a charity shop with a beer tower fitted, drill through the top, drop the pipes, dispense pipes inside the fridge. I fitted some wood effect sticky back plastic to the top. Don't know if that's showing up in the early morning light here. It's just like a white wood grain effect. I just thought that would smarten the top up a bit. That's just the drip tray you can see there, chrome drip tray I bought with the rest of the gear. And then I fitted a gallery rail around the outside. That's just for show and extra chrome really. Can't have too much chrome, can you? It's just drilled through the top and dropped in. Found that on the internet. I just noticed that commercial kegerators usually have a gallery rail around, so I thought I would just put one on just to finish it off. Let's take a look inside. So inside I've got plenty of room for two corny kegs. I just got one stood in there at the moment. I've got the gas bottle stood in there just because it's convenient, but the other job that I'm going to do this weekend is drill through the side of the fridge and feed the gas line inside. I've just got the bits from Brew UK to split the gas line, so I can gas up both of my kegs simultaneously. Got an STC 1000 controller. You can just see the cable dangling in there, but I'll slot that through the gas line so I can dial up the temperature that I want, and that's it really. I've had a test of it. You know, it runs well. I hope the lights just come on. That'll help. Flow could be a little bit faster, maybe, but I'm leaving the lines the length that they are for a while until I just play with it and see how it's going. So that's that. That's the kegerator. Really pleased with that. Let's go back and see how the mash is doing. About 20 minutes to go with the mash. It's running nicely. It's clearing up nicely, as you perhaps can see. It's quite bright there. It just seems to me that there's more water going down the overflow than usual. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'm just a bit paranoid. The brewery I buy the grain from changed the crush recently. I detected that actually because I mashed and sparged and it was a little bit slow, so I messaged them and they said, oh yeah, we have changed the crush very slightly. So I thought, okay, I can live with that. And then a couple of weeks later they messaged me and said, oh, we're having slow sparges now, we're going to put our crush back again. So result, the home brewer spotted that. So maybe I'm being a bit paranoid and it's nothing to do with the crush, but we'll see what efficiency I get when we get through the sparge and into the boil stage. Right, things are boiling away happily, so I'm going to get the zest ready for boiling. So I'm going to use the zest is just the yellow bit, and trying to avoid the white pithy bit underneath. So what you need to do is just shave off the top bit. That's the idea. It smells lovely, like that. I'm going to put, I think, the zest of one grapefruit in. I've been looking at the grapefruit recipes on Grainfather Facebook group. Get an idea of quantities. People seem to put 10 to 20 grams in. I'm going to cut the zest of one grapefruit off and then weigh it, see how that stacks up. So I'll carry on trimming this off for use later in the boil. 10 minutes, last 10 minutes. Good vigorous boil going there. So this is just a quick tip. If you've got a big paddle like this, and I recommend them for scraping the bottom of the boiler sometimes, and you're in a thoroughfare as I am in the kitchen, people might come by, stick your paddle on with the handle sticking out, and people just naturally walk a long way around it and avoid coming close to the boil. A bit safer. So just a little tip there. Okay, we're cooling now. Got the hop rocket in place. So that's got the hop back hops and some more grapefruit zest in there. And cooling straight into the fermenter, going quite quickly. At the minute, need to keep an eye on the hot water runoff so I don't have a flood. A couple of things to show you. I've been experimenting with connecting a really cheap £3 temperature probe. That sits there. The other end is in here, in the flow of the wort. There. That gives me a continual readout of the cooling efficiency. I've got the beer chilled to just over 20 degrees, so that's ready for pitching. So now I need to harvest the yeast from the starter that we've been working on and then pitch. So this is my cleaned harvesting jar. I need 500 ml, which is to the top of this label. This is the sort of tape you can write on, so I can write on it what it is. So let's get it off the stir plate and harvest the yeast first, and then we'll pitch the rest. So here's the starter. It's all sunk to the bottom, as you can see, because the stirring stopped, obviously. I need to swirl it to make sure I get the right amount of yeast in here. The jar's a bit old. That's it. Right, let's get the yeast up. Pour 500 ml out. There we are. About the right amount of yeast in there that I had last time, I think. That'll go in the ordinary kitchen fridge at about 4 degrees until I'm ready to brew again. This should be about a litre. Yeah, is the yeast for the next brew that we've been working on, the grapefruit pale ale. So that's going to get pitched now. Here we go then. This will go into the fermentation fridge. Before I can put it in, I need to take one out and keg it, so it'll be alright at room temperature just to get started. The room's about 19 degrees at the minute, so you can stay here. Let's get the yeast in there. Now I've got to be careful not to lose the stirrer in there, because it's still in the bottom of the flask. I haven't got a stir remover. You basically just need a sanitised stick with a magnet on the end to lift your stirrer out, but I haven't made one yet. I'm just getting ready to catch it if it goes in, which it will. Lots of yeast there. There's a stirrer at the bottom. Ooh, come here. Pretty nice looking yeast charge there, wasn't there, going in? I'll lift it up and put some water in and rinse that out and get all the yeast out. So there we are, that's pitched. I'll show you how it goes. So this is harvest number 4. I'm pretty confident it'll be fine. Okay, that's it for now. I'll check in with a quick update to just let you know how the fermentation goes.